Atheism is often presented as the rational alternative to religious belief, a liberating departure from the dogmatic traditions and supernatural claims that have dominated human thought for centuries. At its core, atheism appears simple, a lack of belief in gods due to insufficient evidence. It prides itself on its clean-cut stance, relying solely on evidence and reason, and rejects the need for faith or supernatural explanations. But this seemingly straightforward position is not as unburdened or free from deeper complexities as it first appears. To truly understand atheism, we have to look beyond its surface definition and explore the realities that inform this stance. When we do, we discover that atheism, much like theism, is not just a position of negation, but one that involves its own set of beliefs, psychological commitments, and philosophical challenges. It is not merely an absence of belief, but a response to the broader human condition, intertwined with aspirations, ideals, and the pursuit of meaning. In this exploration, it becomes clear that atheism, despite its outward simplicity, navigates the same terrain of thought, emotional depth, and existential quandaries as theism, often trapping the mind in similar ways. The claim that atheism is simply a lack of belief in gods due to insufficient evidence is an appealing reduction, but it significantly oversimplifies the diversity and depth of the atheist experience. For many, atheism is not just a straightforward rejection of the supernatural. It is a deeply personal journey influenced by a variety of factors, including intellectual exploration, emotional disillusionment, and a desire for coherence and authenticity in one's worldview. Consider the individual who adopts atheism not solely because of a rigorous analysis of evidence, but as a reaction to personal experiences with religion. This person might have been raised in a religious environment that felt hypocritical or harmful, where doctrines seemed arbitrary or oppressive. For them, atheism is not just a passive withholding of belief. It is an active rejection of a system that has caused them pain or failed to satisfy their deeper questions about life and existence. Their atheism is as much about the emotional and psychological consequences of religion as it is about intellectual skepticism. Moreover, many atheists adhere to a form of naturalism, the belief that everything can be explained through natural laws without recourse to the supernatural. This belief extends beyond mere skepticism. It is a positive commitment to a worldview grounded in the material and the observable. It involves trust in human cognition, reliance on scientific inquiry, and a rejection of supernatural explanations not just as unproven, but as unnecessary. Thus, atheism cannot be adequately captured by the simple phrase, lack of belief. It is a complex and active stance that involves affirmations about the nature of reality, the limits of knowledge, and the methods by which we understand the world. The common framing of atheism and theism as diametrically opposed, mutually exclusive positions creates a false binary that oversimplifies the rich and varied landscape of human belief. In this binary, one either believes in gods or does not, with little room for nuance or complexity. But reality is more intricate, and the spectrum of belief is filled with myriad shades of gray. Between the poles of atheism and theism lie numerous other positions: agnosticism, deism, pantheism, and varied forms of spirituality that do not fit neatly into either category. Even within atheism, there is a broad range of perspectives, from strict materialism to more agnostic or skeptical positions that are open to future evidence. Some atheists might reject traditional gods but remain open to the possibility of unknown forces or principles that lie beyond current human understanding. Others take a more definitive stance, dismissing any such notions outright. By casting atheism and theism as direct opposites, we overlook the shared ground they occupy. Both are responses to the same fundamental human questions. Why are we here? What is the nature of existence? How should we live? These questions are not just academic or theoretical, they touch on the core of human experience and are driven by the same need for meaning, connection, and understanding. Whether through belief or disbelief, atheists and theists alike grapple with the mysteries of existence, striving to find coherence and comfort in an often confusing world. This shared struggle highlights the limitations of the binary perspective, revealing that atheism and theism are not just oppositional, but are part of a larger, intertwined frame of thought. Both seek answers to the deepest questions of life, and both can fall into similar patterns of certainty, doubt, and the search for purpose. In recognizing this, we move beyond the simplistic dichotomy and open ourselves to a more nuanced understanding of how humans relate to the existential questions that define our experience. A shared critique of atheism is that it offers no comprehensive worldview, no unified narrative to guide one's understanding of life and the universe. While atheists often respond that their position is not obligated to provide such a narrative, this rebuttal overlooks a significant truth. Many atheists actively seek to construct a meaningful worldview that extends beyond mere disbelief in gods. This effort is inherently philosophical, involving not just rejection but also the positive construction of a coherent framework from interpreting existence. Many atheists turn to secular humanism, ethical naturalism, or other philosophical systems that prioritize reason, empathy, and the well-being of sentient beings. These ethical frameworks are not simply negations of religious morality, they are affirmative positions about how humans should treat one another and live together in society. They involve careful considerations of human nature, societal dynamics, and the complexities of moral decision-making, challenging the notion that atheism is a purely negative stance. Similarly, atheistic perspectives on consciousness, free will, and the nature of reality engage deeply with long-standing philosophical debates. Atheists may reject the concept of a soul or afterlife, but they are still confronted with profound questions about what it means to be conscious, to experience life, and to face the reality of death. These inquiries are not just matters of negation, but are part of a broader quest to understand the human condition in a naturalistic framework. This quest requires not only skepticism, but also constructive engagement with mysteries that have intrigued thinkers for centuries. By focusing solely on what it rejects, atheism risks neglecting its potential to positively address the big questions of existence. It's not enough to dismiss supernatural claims. There is also a need to build a worldview that resonates with the depth and complexity of human experience. In this way, atheism is not just a position of negation, but a creative endeavor, a philosophical journey that continually seeks to develop and refine its understanding of reality. A common assertion among atheists is that their position requires no faith, relying solely on evidence and reason. This claim does not entirely withstand scrutiny. While atheism certainly does not involve faith in gods or supernatural beings, it often rests on a different kind of faith, a trust in human reason, the reliability of our senses, and the adequacy of natural explanations. This form of faith is not religious but philosophical, rooted in assumptions about the nature of knowledge and the limits of human understanding. Atheism, particularly in its naturalistic form, often assumes that the universe is governed by consistent laws that can be discovered and understood through human inquiry. It places confidence in the scientific method as the best means of gaining knowledge and assumes that the human mind is capable of grasping the fundamental truths of existence. While these assumptions are grounded in evidence and experience, they are not immune to philosophical challenge. The reliability of human cognition, the completeness of scientific knowledge, and the ultimate nature of reality are all subjects of ongoing debate, and none are beyond question. Furthermore, the naturalistic framework embraced by many atheists entails a belief in the sufficiency of natural explanations to account for all phenomena. This belief is not just a default position, it is a positive assertion about the nature of reality. It implies that all aspects of existence, from the origins of the universe to the complexities of human consciousness, can ultimately be understood in terms of physical processes and natural laws. This is a significant philosophical commitment, one that goes beyond mere skepticism and into the realm of metaphysical naturalism. In this light, atheism can be seen as involving its own form of faith. A faith in the capacities of human reason, the scope of scientific inquiry, and the comprehensiveness of naturalistic explanations, all of which are horribly faulty. While this faith is different from religious faith, it is nonetheless a commitment to a particular worldview, one that carries its own assumptions, values, and limitations. Atheism is often framed as a purely intellectual position, but it also has significant psychological and emotional dimensions. The journey to atheism is not just a matter of assessing evidence. It is also shaped by personal experiences, emotional responses, and existential concerns. For many, atheism represents a break from religious traditions that felt restrictive or harmful, a way of reclaiming autonomy and authenticity in one's beliefs. However, this psychological and emotional aspect can also create challenges. For some, the rejection of religious belief brings with it a sense of loss or disconnection. The narratives, rituals, and communities associated with religion often provide a sense of belonging, purpose, and comfort. In stepping away from these, atheists may find themselves grappling with feelings of isolation or uncertainty. While atheism offers freedom from dogma, it does not necessarily replace the existential support structures that religion can provide. Moreover, the emphasis on evidence and skepticism in atheism can sometimes lead to an overtly critical or dismissive attitude towards other perspectives. This can create a kind of intellectual insularity, where the complexities of human experience are reduced to simple binaries of rational versus irrational, scientific versus superstitious. In focusing on what it rejects, atheism can inadvertently close itself off from the richness of diverse human experiences and the insights that can be gained from engaging with different worldviews. Exploring the complexities of atheism, we begin to see that it is not as distinct from theism and religion as it might first appear. Atheism, like theism, is driven by ideals, principles of reason, evidence, and naturalism that guide its understanding of the world. However, just as religion can become entangled in dogma and ritual without fully engaging with the deeper meanings behind its symbols, atheism can similarly fall into the trap of clinging to its ideals without deeply examining their implications. Atheism often prides itself on being free from the irrationalities of religion, yet it can become just as fixated on its own principles, elevating reason and evidence to the status of untouchable absolutes. This fixation can lead to a form of intellectual rigidity, where the pursuit of truth is overshadowed by the need to defend one's position. In this way, atheism can become as much of a trap as the beliefs it rejects, binding the mind to a set of ideals without encouraging the deeper philosophical engagement that true understanding requires. Moreover, atheism's emphasis on evidence and skepticism can sometimes obscure the more subtle existential questions that lie at the heart of human experience. In its focus on what can be known and proven, atheism can neglect the realms of meaning, purpose, and value that cannot be easily quantified or measured. By prioritizing the external world of facts and evidence, it risks losing sight of the internal world of personal significance and existential depth. In this way, atheism can lead the mind down a path similar to that of religion, one that is centered on an ideal without fully engaging with it. Just as religious adherents might recite creeds without truly understanding their meaning, atheists can adopt the language of reason and skepticism without fully grappling with the philosophical and emotional complexities that underlie these concepts. Both positions can become more about identity and allegiance than about genuine inquiry and growth. Atheism, for all its distinctions from theism and religion, ultimately participates in the same human quest for understanding, meaning, and coherence. Both atheism and theism are responses to the mysteries of existence, driven by the need to make sense of a world that is often bewildering and complex. They offer different answers, but are motivated by the same underlying questions and desires. In this light, atheism is not a simple rejection of belief, but a part of the broader human condition, filled with its own complexities, challenges, and commitments. It navigates the same terrains of thought as theism, grappling with questions of existence, purpose, and the nature of reality. It is not free from ideals or assumptions. Rather, it is guided by its own set of principles that shape its understanding of the world, all of which require faith to embrace. Atheism is as much of a journey of the mind as theism, one that can become trapped in its own ideals if it does not continually strive to penetrate deeper into the personal and the devotional experience. The pursuit of truth, meaning, and understanding is not confined to any one belief system, but is a shared endeavor that transcends the boundaries of faith and disbelief. Both atheism and theism are part of the same matrix and paradigm, reflecting an ongoing quest to understand self and the world around us through rigid, dogmatic systems of belief. If we should adopt either of these positions, we should know that the true challenge is not to adhere to any one position, but to remain open, curious, and engaged with deeper questions that define our existence.